Hey fam, I hope you had a great 4th of July holiday weekend, and I hope each of you sold lots and lots of mattresses. And from what I hear, many of you did. So congratulations. Okay, today's podcast is a little bit different. We did a webinar with Podium and it was a huge hit. We had lots of people show up and sign up, many follow-up questions. And so today we're sort of repurposing that into a podcast. Now, this is going to be a lot better if you go over to YouTube or just head over to thefam.com and go to the podcast section, and you can, scroll down and watch the video. So big shout out to Podium, got my Podium hat on, for helping me with this webinar, put together some great content around this idea of finding and harnessing the power of the world's most proficient and profound and high impact assistant. And that is like ChatGPT and AI. So that's what we're going to get into. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter at thefam.com, because we're going to do 2 follow-up webinars. We're going from assistant to automation to agents. So you don't want to miss it. So this is kind of a recap and a refresher. I want to get you into daily usage with AI. So without further ado, here's the pod for today. Like I said, go to YouTube, watch it there if you can, follow along at home. And as always, at any moment, reach out to me. I'm happy to help on your AI journey. Just send me a note, mark@thefam.com, or follow us on LinkedIn. And the Fam podcast starts right now. Did you know that 86% of customers buy from the first business that responds? And if you text back very quickly, that number jumps to over 90%. That's why Podium's AI employee, Jerry, is a game changer. Jerry never sleeps, never takes a lunch break, and never puts in a 2-week notice. He's always on, responding in seconds, so you never lose a lead again. Turn missed calls into texts, capture more leads, and close more deals, all with Podium. Want to see how it works? Get a demo today at podium.com/fam. Podium, because speed wins sales. For the first time ever, top retailers can carry the luxury mattress line one of America's top sleep retailers has kept to themselves until now. Introducing Prana Sleep. Crafted from 100% natural materials featuring luxury latex quilted directly into the top panel, it's a feel no competitor can match. Born from decades of retail experience, Prana Sleep delivers premium performance, customer loyalty, and unmatched sleep satisfaction. Your competition is going to hate selling against Prana Sleep because nothing compares. Apply now at pranasleep.com.
In the mattress world, a no at checkout means a lost sale. That's where American First Finance comes in. We help you say yes to more customers, even if their credit isn't perfect. With fast setup, tailored solutions, and support every step of the way, you're not just offering a way to pay. You're inviting them to Yesville, where more people get approved and customers can take home the mattress they need today. Visit AmericanFirstFinance.com to get started.
Welcome to the FAM podcast with Mark Kinsley. This is where the best in the bedding business get even better.
The FAM. So he has been in the mattress and appliance industry for years. At this point, he runs some mastermind projects. He has been cultivating AI for the last couple years, I want to say, Mark, and has really found some amazing uses for these tools in the retail industry. And so we are so lucky to have him on. He is an industry expert for us, and he has just been such an amazing person to work with, amazing businessman. So very excited to hear all of the things that Mark has to say. Mark, I'm going to go ahead and give it over to you so that everyone can start learning.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Melissa. And thanks to the whole fam at Podium, such an incredible team. And we're going to talk about besides you, one of my favorite employees, this guy named Jerry. I'll tell you about him. He's a little controversial, I know, internally, but we'll tell you all about him. I think I should start with, the screen says unlock the power of AI for productivity and innovation. That's sort of the core of what we're going to be doing. But it is this idea of going from toy to tool. And we're going to get into what that means. Okay, so why me? Like, how did I get crowned an expert in AI? It reminds me of when I was in 9th grade, my friend Scrob, everybody had a nickname in a small town. I grew up in Riverton, Kansas, one stoplight, which I ran frequently. But my friend Robbie, who got the nickname Scrob, nobody crowned him the king of the internet, but he knew how to use it better than almost anyone. And one day he came to my house and plugged a cord into the back of the tower that I had and typed in a bunch of numbers that I didn't know what they meant. And we were on the internet for free, by the way. So that's sort of the moment in time where we are with ChatGPT and AI. It's the people who have been early adopters, what I say, having their hands in the clay, that sort of have an advantage and are out front. And I found that during our mastermind group almost 2 years ago, we were, kind of on the hunt for content and ideas. And I taught the very first course around AI to our Mattress Mentorship Mastermind group, as we called M3. And it was very well received. One person said the entire investment of our time and money in this program was completely paid off today. So I knew we were onto something. And then just beyond that, I'm a perennial tinkerer. So I'm always just tinkering and building and tinkering and building. And so that's sort of led to unlocking a bunch of different ideas for mattress retailers. I know we even have some jewelry people on and marketing professionals. So we're going to get into some stuff. So buckle up. I want to make sure that we use the Q&A feature. So I'll show you about that in a minute. But first, let's start with the chat feature. So I want you to get your hands on the keyboard and I want you to type in the chat, what words come to mind when you hear AI and ChatGPT? I'm going to look for at least 10 people to add something to the chat here. So if you don't know where the chat is, it's at the bottom of your screen. Yep. Okay, here we go. Time saver, enhancer, amazing, efficiency, automation, slop, love it, idea generation. Hey, Paige, good to see you on here. Agent, inauthentic, productivity, work smarter, not harder, second brain. Awesome. Tool, creative filter. These are great. I'll tell you, so the very first time I taught this, I captured this next slide and we put it up as a word cloud. And these were the words that came to mind whenever, this is like I said, 2 years ago. Soulless, scary. But then there was like Terminator and innovative and future and smart. Yep, over here, Lauren Land. Yeah, marketing excellence, effectiveness, efficiency, better emails. Eric, how's it going? You're in Phoenix, I assume. Unless it got too hot and then you're back up in Canada. Yeah, so these words are evolving, essentially. And I'm seeing it here in the chat, the evolution of these terms. So like I said, I started teaching AI about 2 years ago, and I've been just reading every newsletter, trying out every tool, using it every single day. I even built a system to kind of like automate the podcast I do. I've done over 630 podcast episodes about the mattress business, and much of that behind the scenes work is now automated with custom applications I've built using AI. I'm a non-technical person. My background is marketing at Leggett & Platt. I was the CEO of Englander Mattress Company. And so along the way, being in some of these leadership positions, it's just like trying to get more efficiency out of my day to day. And whenever my dear friend Adrian, who produced my podcast, left to go practice law permanently, which she'd been doing off and on for years, I was like, what can we automate? So for today, I say buckle up because we're going to move super fast. You're going to get so much of the content that people pay thousands and thousands of dollars for when we do it in person. So we want to use the chat because I want you to use the chat to capture your ideas, okay, your quotes and notes, and saying hello to each other. Because if you put it in the chat, what we're going to be able to do is look at what your ideas are that might inspire somebody else. So, but beyond that, for questions, I want you to use the Q&A. It's at the bottom of your screen in Zoom. See these big arrows going to Q&A? Please ask your questions there because they'll put it in a separate queue that we can make sure and answer for you. Plus, we'll be able to take those questions and follow up with you with additional information if needed. It's very important. Where's the Q&A? Look at your screen, and this little box right here will pop up so you can type in your questions. Okay, we good? All right, here we go. So AI is the greatest accelerant in human history. And I'll get to some of the quotes around that. But what is generative artificial intelligence? What is ChatGPT or generative AI? It's essentially a producer of things. It can create things. It can create brand new ideas. It can create content without an E. It can code. It can design. ChatGPT didn't produce my slides. Otherwise, I would have reviewed it. But it's based on patterns of massive amounts of data. Okay, and that massive amounts of data is essentially scraped from the internet. That's essentially where it comes from. And in the early days of ChatGPT, they had tuned it on about 10% of the internet up until September 2022. Now it's tuned on much more information than that. It can draft marketing copy. It can be your customer service. It can build PowerPoint slides. It can summarize anything. It can brainstorm with you, and it can act 24/7 across every department in your business. Essentially, it's and that's sort of a concept I want you to have in mind because ChatGPT in particular is always creating something new. So this is the CEO of Google. This is a quote, and I want you to tune into this. AI is the most profound technology in the history of human civilization. potentially more important than the discovery of fire and electricity. Pause on that. More important than fire and electricity. We take it for granted now that you walk into a room and sometimes you don't even have to flip a switch and it comes on. Lights come on everywhere. I mean, the advent of electric light for all you mattress people out there fundamentally changed the way human beings sleep forever. And so now we're on the precipice of the most profound impact on our businesses and on shifts in society that are going to happen that we've ever known. Okay, so anybody see Iron Man 1, 2, and 3? It's okay if you haven't, but here's what's up. I think about AI and ChatGPT as the Iron Man suit. Okay, in the very beginning, in Iron Man number 1, Tony Stark was the superhero. He was the superhero because he had the suit. But then once you got to Iron Man 3, it's all these suits that you see in the background over here. Many people had access to the suits. Everyone has access to the suit now. So if everyone has access to the suit, who wins in your business against your competition? Who wins? The one who can use the suit the best. And if you go back and you watch Iron Man, Tony Stark is not afraid to invent new suits and try them out. Essentially what I call getting your hands in the clay. So that's what I'm gonna ask you to do today. I want you to actually get your hands on the keyboard. We're gonna have some fun with it. But we're gonna cover a couple of key things here, and I've got some bonuses for you. So if you don't have a ChatGPT account, I encourage you to not only sign up, but swipe your card, pay the $20. It's the world's greatest assistant, and it's on your computer, and it's on your phone, and it's all synced up. So you can work on the go, and you can come back to your computer, and all that work is right there for you to access. The other thing we're going to look at is sort of a sister tool, let's call it, called Notebook LM. So you can go to notebooklm.google.com. You can go to chat.openai.com, sign up, get the official app, and we're going to cover both of these tools and the fundamental skill that's going to translate to using these tools the best and unlocking its full power. Okay, this is what it looks like. This is ChatGPT. This is what Notebook LM looks like. Go ahead and sign up. Now, your learning path. Like I said, and one of the promises of this webinar today, we want you to go from toy to tool, from toy being curious to tool, knowing the right tool to pull out of the toolbox at the right time so that you can unlock the power of AI. So a lot of people have used ChatGPT and they found it to be a toy. And maybe it didn't do what they wanted it to do, and they threw it back in the toy box. So, Melissa, can we launch a little poll question here? Because I want to know how many people have used ChatGPT or another AI tool, and how often you're using them. Okay, great. We got a bunch of dailies coming through. Let's get all the votes in. I want to get at least 50. It looks like we can get up to 65 here. Let's try to get 65. Okay, 65% of you said daily users. 19% a few times a week. Only 6% a few times a month, rarely but curious, and never used it. So 4% of people on here have never used it. And I would say that this group of people is very different. And I'm going to show you a slide here in a minute that illustrates that. So the ones that are daily users, you're way ahead. I would say you're in the top 5%, maybe in the top 1% in the world. So congratulations. We're going to help you unlock even more power. For those of you who haven't used it, or maybe casual users, this is essentially what we're going for right here. This is your learning path. You're probably going to have these moments, and those of you who are daily users, we're like, wow, this is incredible. And then it comes to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, what all can this do? I feel overwhelmed, or this is too much for me, or it's happening too fast. That trough is normal. So we want you to go from curious and wow, and when you feel that trough, get back to the basics, understanding that fundamental skill, and we want you to eventually get to daily usage and know which tool to pull out of the AI toolbox. And I'm confident you can do it because the skill that you're going to learn is really simple. Most of you already have it. Okay, 92% of companies are Fortune 500s have already adopted generative AI. Yet look at this. Only about 8% of US workers are using it daily. That's why I said, we had, 66% is where it landed, are daily users right now. That puts you at the head of the queue when it comes to efficiency, productivity, and understanding these tools and how you can not only gain personal productivity, but get enterprise value. And that's what we're going to be going for. Okay, now why should you use ChatGPT? This is a very fascinating case to me because they have these 30 challenging medical cases that they kind of keep under lock and key. And they have doctors go through reading these cases and then they diagnose and prescribe to see how proficient they are. So they gave them these 6 cases to doctors on their own, doctors with ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT alone. Look at this. Why is there only a 2% lift when doctors had ChatGPT, but there was a 90% accuracy rate when ChatGPT was left to its own devices? And the answer is probably curse of knowledge, hubris. Doctors probably thought they knew better than the machine. They don't. None of us do. Now, should we rely solely on the machine for every result? No, we're going to show you your role in this world. But look at this. I mean, if somebody said on one of the podcasts I listened to, it's probably going to be illegal in the future for doctors not to use ChatGPT, because you can imagine they don't have all the knowledge of all of medicine at their fingertips, and they might miss something. They might be a small town doctor with very few resources. This is a 14% increase in chances of living. So if ChatGPT can increase the chances of living by 14%, think about what it can do for you. Okay, you ready? We're going to 40x your productivity immediately. That sound good? Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to have a little bit of trust in this tool. And here's how you 40x your productivity in this key area. Showed that ChatGPT with a human, that's you, can generate 200 ideas in 15 minutes. Whereas the human by itself, 5 ideas in 15 minutes. That's a 40x productivity. But you might be saying, okay, Kinsley. So everybody calls me by my last name. So Mark Kinsley, call me Kinsley. It's fine. 5 ideas. So you might be saying, Kinsley, are those ideas any good? Well, read the fine print down here, because these were product ideas. And they put these product ideas in front of actual consumers to measure purchase intent. And the ideas that ChatGPT and the human together developed were deemed higher purchase intent than the human alone. So they were better ideas from a product standpoint. So you have the Iron Man suit. All of you do. What's the basic skill you need to unlock the Iron Man suit? You've probably heard this term. It's called prompt engineering. Okay? It's basically just you give it clear instructions and you refine your results. I don't love the term. It sounds a little computerish. So I just call it being a prompt boss. And here's why. All of you are bosses, even like in the cool sense of the word, or in like maybe you are an actual boss. So check this out. I want you to think of yourself as a good boss. I want you to think of this tool as if you're talking to a human, because a good boss is going to be garbage in, garbage out. You know what I mean? Like if you're a bad boss, you're going to get poor results. A bad boss gives limited input, lack of clarity, no context, not what you want it to be. There's no audience information. There's no action that you want somebody to take. So at its basics, here's what I want you to practice in your day-to-day. Don't be a lazy prompter. Be a good prompt boss. And here's how you do that. So an easy way to do it is role, goal, topic, and details, RGTD. So the role that you give AI when you type something in is you're telling it what domain or what expertise you want it to have or who you want it to be. I may say, I want you to be Dennis, one of the founders of Podium. Okay. And if there's enough information out there, it's going to take on Dennis's persona. You could tell it, hey, I want you to be Warren Buffett. Or you can be more general and say, hey, you're a copywriter, a professional copywriter. Then you give it the goal. I want you to develop a 15-second script for a social media video. Great. But what is it about? What's the topic? For people who love sleeping with dogs. Okay, great. Anything else? Yeah, I need to give it some details. 100 words or less. The audience is women over 65. Provide the pros and cons of sleeping with a large dog. So there you go. Now you have the role. You gave it a goal, what you want it to do. You gave it a specific, vivid topic, and you filled it in with details. So instead of just going in there and say, write me a social media video for my mattress business or for my jewelry business, you're actually giving it very detailed information, because that's what a good boss does. A good boss says, you have to imagine this assistant. It's a shapeshifter. I mean, it can be a dragon. It can be a lion, if you're talking mythology. It can be Warren Buffett. It can be Dolly Parton. It can be whoever you want it to be across any domain. This assistant knows legal, knows finance, knows marketing, knows operations, knows the mattress business, knows the jewelry business, knows everything that's on the internet. So you first have to tell it, well, if I know everything, it's like walking into a restaurant and saying, they hand you a menu and they say, what would you like to order? Food. Okay, if you walk into a restaurant and you order food, what do you think they're going to bring you? Like, either they're going to say, go pound sand and we'll just bring you, something random. Or you can be like, I specifically want crispy bacon, and I want eggs over easy, and I want 2 of those eggs over easy with salt and pepper. So you get very specific with what you want. You don't go into the restaurant and just order food. So let's have some fun. We'll take this prompt and we're going to actually see what ChatGPT says in response to this. Okay, so the response it came back with was a woman, so they're playing 90s hip hop. A woman in her late 30s relaxing on a spacious, comfortable mattress with her large dog beside her, a glass of red wine on the nightstand, and the voiceover says, share your bed with a big dog? Upgrade to a mattress that supports both of you. Experience comfort and durability designed for you and your gentle giant. Unwind in comfort, sleep soundly. The woman clinks a wine glass with who, I don't know. Find your perfect match at your mattress store. So pretty good. Then you can say, as a follow-up, it has context now, generate an image. And so that's what I said. I said, generate an image to go along with this. That was a very lazy prompt, but it had some context. And so I put the text on screen. The woman's on the front. I think this is my favorite part. She's got one on deck back here. Either that or she's waiting on her partner to come back, or maybe the dog has a wine glass for her since he's so big. Yeah, she clinks with the dog. Thank you, Marissa. I like that. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Since we have so many power users on here, I want you to do what I call getting your hands in the clay. And if you take away nothing else, I want to give you a double red underline right now. I've got my podium pen, double red underline. Get your hands in the clay. There's a story about these two groups of college students, and the assignment was to make one perfect piece of pottery. And they were going to be judged on that. But they gave the groups two different sets of instructions. Group A was told, you have all the resources, experts, videos, books, anything you want, study them. And then at the end of the semester, your job is to make one perfect piece of pottery. The other group was, put into a room and given a wheel and a bunch of clay, and they plopped it down. They said, your job is to make as many pieces of pottery. At the end, the judges overwhelmingly judged the group that had their hands in the clay as the most beautiful piece of pottery. So instead of thinking that you can do something wrong and you can break it, having your hands in the clay and practicing is what's going to open up opportunities, ideas for what we call use cases, and so much more. So I want you to prompt with me. Okay, here we go. Who's with me? Give me a heck yeah or something like that in the chat if you're with me. I'm in, coach. Prove it. Okay. Yes. Here we go. Oh, Jordan Rorto, what's up, man? Okay, so here's the prompt. The only thing you have to do is pick your topic, okay? So you are a mattress expert. Develop a 15-second script for a social media video. Insert the topic. 100 words or less. The audience is women 35-54. So here's exactly what you're going to type in. This text right here. You don't have to put role. You don't have to put goal. You don't have to put topic. You don't have to put details as text, but you can. But write this, and I give you some topic starters over here. My favorite is rotisserie sleeping, of course. Any rotisserie sleepers out there? Put a hot dog emoji in the chat. A rotisserie sleeper is, I'm just constantly turning all night. It's like a hot dog at a gas station. Okay, put it in your chat GPT, and I want 3 responses that we can take a glance at. There you go, Kenton. I want 3 responses that we can glance at in the chat.
Hey, Mark, while we wait for those people to talk about in the chat, we do have a question. When you give it directions with a prompt that has multiple details, is it best to put it as a paragraph or as bullet points? Do you have any guidance on that?
It really doesn't matter. From a structure standpoint, the system is scanning the text and it's interpreting the text based on the text itself, not the bullets. I think for clarity's sake, though, for your own clarity, I think structuring it with bullet points or call outs of some sort could be helpful just to make sure you have the prompt right going in. But essentially, it's scanning that information and it's going to take its best swing at generating something original. Great question, by the way. All right, Kelly Charles, she's got I'm just going to do the, sleeping hot is the topic. Thank you, Kelly. You got a woman tossing and turning. Hot at night, you're not alone. Women often sleep warmer, especially during that time of life. Our mattresses are designed to breathe, wick heat, and keep you cool all night so you actually sleep. Cooler sleep starts here because beauty sleep shouldn't come with a sweat. Awesome. We got another one from Marissa De La Mora. Tired of your partner snoring? It might not be him. It could be your mattress. A worn out or unsupported mattress can throw your body and airway out of alignment, making snoring worse. A proper mattress supports better posture, deeper sleep, and yes, quieter nights. Ready to sleep soundly again? Time to upgrade. Let's go. Nice job. See, that's the power of taking everything here, changing the topic, and you get wildly different results. But you gave it a role, you gave it a goal, you gave it a specific topic, and you gave it some details. Those are the basics of being a better prompter. And I'm telling you, this translates beyond ChatGPT. This is going to go into all kinds of other tools that we're going to talk about. It's very important. So those are some of the shares. Austin Perez, day 3 of trying to fold the fitted sheet. My Fitbit thinks I'm doing CrossFit. Get bedding that loves you back. I love it, man. Get bedding that loves you back. Wrinkle-free, drama-free, husband, optional. Great job. Okay, let's take a moment and clap it up for yourselves. It's okay. You're in the office, that's okay. Clap it up for yourselves. Thank you, Greg Law, for giving me that idea to always clap it up for people. Tambra, this is fun. Okay, I love it. Now we're gonna do something even more fun. You think that was fun? Get ready. Because the power of role change is something I haven't heard anybody else talk about. And you're getting it here first. Role change. Okay, this is super cool. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT, you are Samuel L. Jackson. And since it's a shapeshifter and it takes on any persona of any information that's out there, if there's enough information out there of things that Samuel L. Jackson has said, it's pulling in that text-based data and it turns itself into Samuel L. Jackson. So we have a very similar script. This time, women 35-54, you got the large breed dogs, and you enjoy drinking red wine and listening to 90s hip hop. Let's see what it says. Samuel L. Jackson, cozy bedroom, mastiff across the bed, glass of red wine. You ever try to get 8 hours of sleep with 150 pounds of drooling dog parked on your pillow? That ain't sleep, that's survival, baby. But if you've got red wine, 90s hip hop, and a big old snuggle beast, you're living right. Respect. If anybody can do a better Samuel L. Jackson, you got to tell me. You probably can. Now, let's see what it does. Exact same script. Nothing's changed except we told it, you are Dolly Parton. You are Dolly Parton. Well, honey, if your idea of bedtime is a 150-pound fur baby hogging the covers, a glass of red wine in one hand and TLC bumping in the background, you ain't just sleeping, you're living large. Big dogs, big love, big vibes. Okay, not bad. So check this out. This is another hack I'm going to give you. Let's say that you love the voice of Dolly Parton, the way that she delivers her lines, or you love Samuel L. Jackson and you're like, man, I want to write a script in a way that Samuel L. Jackson would write it. You need to say, this is your prompt. You write in the style of. You write in the style of. This is so if you say you are Samuel L. Jackson, ChatGPT is like, I'm Samuel L. Jackson. If you say you write in the style of, then it's going to create a script that doesn't feature Samuel L. Jackson as the main character, which is important sometimes. So let's try it out. Jim Gaffigan. Okay, you write in the style of Jim Gaffigan. Write a social media post for a king coil mattress. I think I just made this generic. The audience is a sleepy man who is at home watching infomercials at 2 a.m. Okay, so let's see. So again, we're writing in the style of Jim Gaffigan, the style of, not telling it is him. Are you up at 2 a.m. watching someone try to sell you a knife that can cut through a shoe? Buddy, maybe it's not the shoe. Maybe it's your mattress. You don't need another blender. You need a bed that doesn't feel like a medieval punishment device. Introducing the new insert mattress name. It's like sleeping in a hug from a marshmallow that supports your lumbar region. But what if I like my old mattress? You also like cold pizza and socks with holes. It's time, my man. Order now and sleep like a man who didn't just fall asleep in a recliner holding a plate of taquitos. Okay, so really good. I mean, if anybody's seen Jim Gaffigan's comedy, I mean, this is kind of the way he talks. And so it did a good job of capturing in the style of Jim Gaffigan. So now I want to give you like an extension of that. So I'm trying to make sure that people don't become lazy bosses, lazy prompt bosses. But here's a little hack for you. If you have typed in this chat this prompt that led to this output, the chat stream has a little bit of context. So now you can do something slightly more lazy, but I'm going to show you what lazy leads to. I just prompted generate an image that goes along with this social post. So this is the social post back here. I asked it to generate an image that goes along with it, and here we go. So you can kind of see something happening in the background, tired guy, mattress. I was like, that's kind of boring. So I said, that image is boring. Make it more fun. So now you have, the infomercial has a guy cutting a shoe, showing the Ginsu, I assume. And making it more fun was adding another arm. So then I said, make the image even more fun. I want to laugh out loud. So super creepy. I don't know, but ChatGPT at this point is like, more fun, add another arm coming out of his kneecap. And it looks like he has frostbite on one of them. So that's the point at which I'm like, hold on a second. The wheels done come off. So that's when I'm like, I need to go back to the drawing board and be a good prompt boss and make sure I'm giving specifics. So here's another framework for you. Another way to think about prompting is crafting a great prompt. You're going to give it context. You're going to give it a role. You're going to give it an action, a format, and a target. Okay, ready for this? This is what not lazy prompting looks like. Look at all this. So I'm like, hey, here, what's the context? You're gonna do a photorealistic scene to accompany this infomercial. I told it the role. You're a visual director with lots of experience. Action, late night room, TV infomercial, man is disheveled, eating marshmallows out of a bag, a tray with cold pizza on it. Behind him, there are 3 blenders. The TV should show a crazy infomercial pitch man. Use realistic textures. The format, photorealistic or 3D. The target audience, adults 25-54, et cetera, et cetera. But you can see all the detail. Before I was being a lazy prompt boss, but now I feel like based on the prompt, hopefully I get something that's going to go along with this better. And this is what it created. Big mustachioed pitch man with the blender, couple of taquitos resting on the tummy, bag of marshmallows, cold pizza. And if you see in the background, this man has already purchased 3 blenders. He does not need another blender. He needs a good mattress. So pretty cool. Like you can see, based on giving a really good prompt, instead of going down the path of make it funnier, we decided to be more specific and get a better output. Now, maybe you saw this and you're like, this is really cool, but I have some other ideas. I'm going to give you your next tool. Number 1, you got to be a good prompt boss. Number 2, you got to be a good prompt refiner. So it's almost like you're talking to an employee. You give them all this rich information. They have the essence of what you want them to accomplish. Then they come back and it's not quite right. And you're like, great, this is really great. Let's refine it a little bit based on, now that I see it, maybe I got some things, maybe I didn't include some things that I should have. So I went and I refined my prompt. I wanted it to be like cartoonish and kind of chaotic. One of the taquitos, I wanted to be mid-air. A blender in the background is blending nothing with the lid off. It's spraying neon colored goo toward the ceiling. I'm going to pause. You can read this. I'm going to pause and share something with you. Even with ChatGPT, this is a hack for you. This is a writer downer. If you're not a good prompter, you can tell it to help you with a good prompt. And then you feed that prompt back into the thread and it's going to give you much better information. So at that point, you're just like, tell me a good prompt. Here's the spirit of what I'm after. And then you read through it and you're like, I'm going to change a few things. All right, redevelop the prompt. You don't even have to be a good prompter. But this revision of existing information, boom, let's see what it gives you. Awesome. I mean, the blender's sparking, the guy's coming through the TV, marshmallows are in the air, there's goo flying out of another blender. They incorporated some dogs in a sleep mask. Absolutely amazing. Refinement is a true secret weapon. So to have a little fun, anybody seen a Wes Anderson movie? Okay, so I just said, make it in the style of Wes Anderson now. Use a real actor, not cartoons, pastel palettes, symmetrical framing, quirky props. And here it is. It's absolutely amazing what it can do. So that's sort of taking role, goal, topic, details, or craft, whichever framework you gravitate toward, putting it into prompts that are detailed prompts, and then taking that context of that chat stream and actually feeding it now to create images off of it. One little tip here, quick tip, no matter what you're doing, whether you're asking it to be Samuel L. Jackson or Dolly Parton, try to have it work on one thing at a time because ChatGPT can get confused. So work on one thing at a time. The other thing you can do is if it gets way off the rails, just start a new chat. Super simple. Okay, quick sidebar, and then I'm going to ask you for participation in the chat. We in? Okay, get ready for I need some responses in the chat. All of what I've talked about can happen right here on your device. And it's absolutely amazing because anything you work with on the go is going to show up back on your desktop. And you have, one of the cool things I like to do is show you the language barriers are gone. So check this out. Hey there.
How's it going? Are you getting ready for your webinar today?
That's so funny that you remembered that. Yeah, we're actually live on the webinar right now. And I want you to tell everybody hello and wish them a great week in Spanish.
Of course. Hola a todos. Que tengan una excelente semana. Thanks for having me on your webinar.
Now say it in German. So Moretti, that I am too long and I hope he's doing well and selling lots of mattresses.
Certo, chiamo Umberto Moretti è da tanto che non ci vediamo. Spero che tu stia bene e che tu stia vendendo tantissimi materassi. Un abbraccio.
Like do a deep dive on all the different parts and pieces of ChatGPT, like setting up recurring tasks and making projects and how to use this assistant on the go. But I would encourage you, this is your thought partner on the go. I hate my case, by the way. I don't know how I ended up this case. It's your thought partner on the go. So as you're thinking about ideas, it doesn't judge you. It only wants to help you. It infinitely wants to please you, and it never takes time off. So use your thought partner on the go, knowing that it's all going to be synced up when you get back to the house. Okay, who's ready for some chat? What's one area of your business where you wish AI could help right now? Or maybe even one area of your business you're already seeing the possibilities. I'm looking for 5 shares in the chat. Let's go. Thank you, Tani. Like amazing. Marketing. Yeah. What aspects of marketing? Give me a little more clarity. Make some gorgeous product videos for social media for me. Yes. Organize assets to be shared on social media. Absolutely. Those are great use cases. Training. We hear about that a lot. More customers in the door. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. Images and graphics. Yes. Door swings. That's what we always want. Yeah, absolutely. These are great use cases. So we're talking about the fundamental skill, but let's help you unlock one more tool. I'm going to move really fast on this because there's so much to get to. But the same skills you use in ChatGPT, you can use in Notebook LM. And the way that this is what it looks like. The way I want you to think about Notebook LM is like, this is your private office filing cabinet that is under lock and key. And ChatGPT is like the entire library of Congress and beyond. So in your private library, if you pull out information and you talk to it, it's only going to have what's in your office file cabinet. It's not going to have anything else. And that's what Notebook LM is. It's what we call source-based. So you can upload your sources here. You can make individual notebooks, whether it's like marketing, or maybe you have training, or maybe you have content that you work on that's like very proprietary merchandising. I wanted to show you this example because once you load, so I loaded all of our Sleep Summit 2024 speakers transcripts in here. Okay, so we had all of our speakers, I loaded them in here, and then I asked it, tell me about Napoleon Bonaparte and what he was known for. But since this is source-based and it's only giving me information and it's only able to chat based on what I load into it, it says, I'm sorry, but you don't have the sources of the conversation history. I don't know anything about Napoleon Bonaparte. Basically, it's like ChatGPT goes out and like grabs anything from the internet. It's always going to provide a response to you. But in this scenario, you can control, they call it hallucination, which is like basically like making stuff up. But with Notebook LM, it's source-based. So you can load your sources in and you can just do different content with that. You can, essentially upload PDFs of spreadsheets and you can talk to your data, et cetera, et cetera. And then the cool thing is too, on top of that, you can actually share Notebook LM with your teams. And you can give them like, hey, they can add sources, or you can just make it chat only so they can't change anything, but your team can get answers to questions. If you have enterprise, data, or maybe you have like an HR manual or whatever it is, like quick questions, they can just go in here and chat with it. Super cool. You can build brains. And on top of that, you can get a 100% AI podcast in the click of a button. If anybody's tried that, give me a thumbs up in the chat here. Have you tried to make a 100% AI podcast? It's super cool. And it sounds real and it's very scary, but it's also a lot of fun. All right, let's talk about Jerry. Okay, Jerry's a tryhard. I don't know how people feel about Jerry at Podium, but the dude never sleeps. He's never on break. He's very chatty, but he's a workaholic. He's always trying to please everyone. Melissa's like, we love Jerry. No, Jerry's cool. And thankfully, Jerry is very helpful and he's very chatty and he does outshine everyone. But here's what's up. So I wanted to talk about some of Podium's AI tools because this is where taking this idea of prompting and being a prompt boss, that's the assistant. You have to understand how to operate your assistant and maximize your assistant. And that's going to come from like using it every day. Once you have an assistant though, you can tune up that assistant to do other things, from automation to agentics, which agents go out and do things on your behalf. Jerry's kind of a combination of all those things, which in our future webinars, we're going to get to automations and agents. But look, as a business, what are you trying to do? Leads, revenue, and doing more with less. The advances in AI are helping, but you got to have the right tools for the job. So a lot of them are kind of like a co-pilot. They're like there for you, like your assistant, but they don't like take the reins and do tasks from start to finish. So a good AI platform can actually sell products for you while you're asleep. I love this number in the middle. I talk about it all the time on my podcast. Go to thefam.com and subscribe. You'll get all that content, but speed wins sales. That's what it comes down to. Consumers, when they're trying to solve a problem, they're trying to solve it right now. Right now, this is when they're trying to solve it. And as you know, 50% of people, now you know this, say they go to the business that's first to respond. First to respond. They want an immediate response. I don't think this is like earth-shattering, but it's earth-shattering to your business if you don't have a system in place to respond very quickly, immediately. So if you're going to implement an AI system, you want it to respond instantly. You want it to be able to handle complexity accurately, because in furniture and mattress and jewelry, like the questions are going to be very pointed, and they probably need some detail and definition. And you want them to be engaging. Like, you don't want it just to be an answer engine. You want it to be like, hey, what else can we do for you? What else are you working on? How else can we help? AI should actually boost sales and not just do little jobs here and there. And Jerry, he's our guy. He doesn't take a vacation or lunch break. And he can even help you with discounts. Jerry's been launched in the automotive industry very successfully. And they're tuned up actually those models to drive people into the stores for a test drive. So, that's what's happening in furniture and mattress as well. Like, come in and take a look at our mattresses and try it out. So you add another employee without the costs, and it's really, really cool. So you just have to sit back and start imagining what's possible. And Jerry's our guy. So that's sort of the ecosystem you're creating here. And, I talk to business owners all the time, and I'm like, why do you rely on your employees to do that whenever you can automate that using automation tools and AI? And they're like, well, that's their job. I'm like, yeah, but what if you removed human error from it and automated it to free them up to go after higher value activity? So I want you to start thinking about it like this. Find the friction. Find the friction in your day-to-day. Like, what do you get bogged down doing that you hate? Where's the friction in terms of things that need to be getting done in your business that require a couple clicks of a button or a person to do it? Look at tools like Podium, because you can generate leads. You can automatically respond to website reviews. You can, warm up those leads with Jerry. You can send them payment links. They even have phone systems that are automatically answer and transcribe that and schedule follow-ups. So think about finding the friction in your business and then start thinking AI first. How can I use this assistant and automation and tools like Podium? That's where you're going to unlock true enterprise value. And again, freeing up your time to do the things that matter most, which is being with humans. That's where this is trending, I think. Okay, how we doing? Okay, we're going to take a deep breath. I want an emoji check-in. So put the emoji in the chat to tell me how you're feeling right now. Emoji check-in, fire, celebration, superstar, love, cool guy, some sort of, this is an amazing, I don't know what this is, Kenton Barton. That's my favorite emoji of all time. Mary, do you have like hiding behind the glasses there? Love it. Okay, you guys ready? Thank you for this. So since I got so many cool emojis there, we're going to do, muscle, Ryan Meyer. You guys want to do some bonuses? I need 5 hell yeahs in the chat, and I'll do some bonuses. There we go. All right, we're doing bonuses. We got about 10 minutes. I want to respect your time, and we got a lot to get through today. So here's what we're going to do. ChatGPT images, Gamma, and Presti. I'm going to show you some tools I love. Again, boy to tool. We want you to be able to pull out the right tool at the right time and be able to prompt it, being a good prompt boss. And a good prompt boss is going to give very clear instructions, detailed instructions, and then you're going to refine that information to make sure it lands. So, okay, I'm about to paint my house. My boy Armando's coming over here. He's going to start power washing on Saturday. Craftsman style house. I want to paint it, make it look better. Here's the prompt. And I put it into ChatGPT. I said something about green. Well, check this out. This is absolutely amazing that you can do this with words. It sent this back to me, and I'm like, okay, I wonder what it would look like if the brick was just still brick colored. Refined my prompt, and this came back. And then I wanted to try a different color. So then I was like, oh, cool. Okay, like it was like a lighter shade than my trim, and like leave the shake shingle alone. And then I changed the color of the door, and I painted this. I did all of this with words, by just giving very specific prompts and inputs. Pretty cool, huh? So, but I want to show you something. It's very subtle here, but look at this picture of my house, okay? Now, my screen porch is gone. These are not my pots out front, my wife's pots. So look at the original picture. Screen porch, these are what the pots look like. It shifted the perspective. I point this out because if you have products that you're featuring and you want those products accurately communicated to your audience, don't use ChatGPT because it's generating something new every single time. It wants to create something new every single time. So what do you do about it? So I'm going to show you this up close. So I grabbed this mattress, keep it intact. I said, don't change the image I've uploaded. Place it in a bedroom that you would expect to see, find at Hotel Emma in San Antonio. That's an amazing property, by the way, Hotel Emma. That's where we had Dream Camp. So check this out. Created this image in a matter of moments. But when you zoom in, that's not the same mattress. This one doesn't have any handles. The woven label was moved over here to the center. The quilt pattern is not quite right on the border. It doesn't have the sort of the circular element in the middle. Did it again. I prompted it again. I'm like, okay, come on now. I want a coastal bedroom, but keep it intact. Didn't do it. Changed the mattress, removed the handles, changed it around, changed the pattern on the top. So what do? Presti. So shout out to my boy Hamza, doing really great work at Presti, Presti.ai. Photo shoots cost a ton of money. Presti allows you to upload your source image. So I uploaded that same source image and it's going to keep it intact. Then even here, the core skill we talked about, you got to be a good prompter. You type in a really good prompt. Now I even went to ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, I'm going to need to, put together a prompt to develop a bedroom scene that's like a coastal cozy cabin. And then I had it create a prompt for me. So say, a nice little time saver. I reviewed it. I liked it. So then it gave me 4 options here. So Presti.ai gave me 4 options. I selected this one because it had a bed frame and it didn't look like it was floating in midair. And boom, I think when I first look at it, that it protected the integrity of this image. Let's look. Yep, back and forth. Same image. Didn't change the mattress. Handles are intact. The quilt patterns are all right. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, show you something else cool here. Now, and you can do that with like any scene you want. Let's say you live in the mountains and you want a mountain scene. Let's say you live in the desert and you want a more, of a southwestern feel to it. Like you just enter the right prompt and it's going to create that bedroom scene image for you. You can even tell it like what's happening outside the windows. But again, those detailed prompts help. So another cool thing about Presti.ai is the accessories. So I click accessories and then it has you just kind of paint where you want an accessory. And naturally, I wanted a tiger. So I put in the prompt and it generated kind of more like an emblazoned tiger. And I'm like, nah, that's not what I want. I don't want a cartoon tiger. I want a real tiger laying on the mattress. So I paint it again, a living tiger laying on the mattress. Very simple prompt. Bam, there it is. So you get 4 options and you go through those 4 options. And then you take that sort of new product image you have with the tiger, you prompt it, and you develop a tiger themed bedroom, which we could have just typed in Greg Law's bedroom and it probably would have popped us up. But see again, like if you go back to this image here, if you go back to the image, I'm going to pause it right there. The mattress stayed the same. So it protected the integrity of the mattress. You got the tiger laying on it and you got a bunch of safari themed bedrooms that you can now use to promote your products, put them on social media, put them on your website. Really, it's like kind of limitless. Greg Lau says to match my boxers. That's right. Welcome to the jungle. Okay, Gamma. I'm going to have to adjust what I'm sharing here for a moment, okay? Let's actually just, because I want to show you something super cool since we've got just a couple of more minutes. I'm going to do something live here. This is super risky, but I feel like you're hanging with me, so it's good.
And Mark, we do have a few questions in the chat, so just heads up on that too.
Oh, cool. Let's answer some questions while I'm getting this pulled up.
Okay, great. Okay, a few of them were, okay, first was, can Podium help me write responses to customers within the system so I don't have to go back and forth between ChatGPT and Podium? Yes, actually, Sam, that actually does happen. So Podium uses AI in a couple different ways. We have a couple different products. We have Jerry, who Mark kind of talked about. He's more of an AI agent. But then we also have instant answers where you can actually put in your store information, like when you're open, your website, it can go into all of your different messages and actually go through and write responses to your chat reviews, as well as your text messages if people are texting you within the platform. So yeah, it actually already does that. Something that's cool with our chat as well is we actually do what's called, we've worked our AI models so that we're also using the best keywords so that you're going to get the best SEOs when you respond to those reviews and whatnot. We have actually made our models so that you get these keywords included inside of our responses with the AI. So it just really helps your SEO, and all of that as well. So not only are you going to be using the instant answers to then answer all the questions about your store with different customers through text or through Google reviews, but then you're also getting really optimized responses with those keywords. So that was a great one. Let's see. I always feel like I have to give corrections to an image or graphic to dial it into what I want. It has more errors. What am I doing wrong?
So the short answer is probably nothing. The key here with image creation is definitely being vivid and specific. So here's the hack. Here's the answer. In your chat, one thing we've talked about today is refinement. So in your chat, instead of trying to figure out what's going to produce the results you want, ask ChatGPT, what information do you need from me to fully understand my intent to get the image I want? Then you don't even have to think of the inputs to give it. It's going to ask you questions until it feels like you've answered them all. And then that's going to give it a prompt that you can feed back into the system. Sometimes it's just a matter of you're not a computer. You don't talk computer. And so I would encourage you to ask it what it needs and then supply that information. And then that's going to help you come up with a more refined prompt so you can get the better image output. Keep in mind that it's always synthesizing information into something new. So if you keep going down the path, kind of like the guy with all the arms that I showed you, you sometimes start over and take that sort of that information that it fed back to you and put it into a new chat. That way it's starting fresh and it doesn't get bogged down and confused. What else? Any other questions coming out?
Yes, there's many more. Is there any copyright issues using ChatGPT?
Are we talking about with imagery? With imagery, no, because it's always generating something brand new. With, anything that is generating, text, if that model is stealing, which it shouldn't be, then that could be a potential issue. But what's happening from a legal standpoint is, for example, the New York Times is licensing its entire bank of content to certain models, so they can be tuned up and trained on that information. So the legality is going to fall between the publisher and the model, not the user.
Awesome. Okay. And then do you use audio prompts more than writing it? You mentioned you use an app called Whisper on the podcast.
Yes, Whisper's amazing. So it's called, is it Whisper Flow? Whisper Flow. Here, let's see if I can send the link to you. Yeah, Whisper Flow is amazing. Whisper Flow allows you just to press a key on your keyboard and speak and not even have to type. So to date, I've spoken about 173,000 words. And it just saves me tons and tons of time. So instead of chatting, you're just pressing a button, you're talking, it's getting it out there, you press enter and you move on. So if you can talk faster than your fingers can type, it's super helpful.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah, let me Whisper Flow. I got a bunch of links. Yeah, they spell it WISPR, and I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody. So in the chat it goes, Whisper Flow, highly recommend it. If you're looking for productivity hacks and increases and you don't mind talking, if you work in a big office full of people and you're over there, screaming at your chat GPT to do things for you, then, it might get a little dicey. Okay, we're at 12:02. Melissa, should we do one more bonus and wrap it up?
Yep, go ahead. You go right ahead, and then we can keep. Harry has some more questions that, Harry, I might just email you personally.
I have time, though. I have time if everybody wants to still rock and roll here. But I think this is worth seeing for sure. So it's one more little kind of use case, but I want to give a shout out to the folks at IllinoisHomestores.com. I saw some people from the Ashley stores up there signed up. So I'm going to show you something that is really cool. And this applies to many, many different parts of the business. Okay, so here we go. So what I'm going to do is, let's say that you want to put together a presentation deck that's all about your company and you want to do it in under a minute. I'm going to do this live, so it's a little bit risky, but let's try it. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, visit this website, look at all the pages, produce a copy for a 10-slide presentation that will tell people all the great things about this company. So this is ChatGPT, and as you can see, it's going to work and it's scanning the website. It's scanning LinkedIn, it's looking at Facebook, it's looking at a bunch of different pages here, and it came back with all this information. Cool, let's just assume that it looks good for the copy and we don't want to refine anything. I'm going to copy that over right here. I'm going to go to gamma. I'll put that in the link as well. You're going to paste it in here. Bam. You're going to scan down here and you're going to say, summarize this information. Go to the prompt editor. Okay, let's just assume this looks good. Take out that last one, which was nothing, and you just click continue, and we're going to shuffle the theme. Okay, looks good. Generate. Now watch this. So as you can see, if I was doing, research on a company, or I wanted to put something together for, an account I was going to visit, or even about yourself, and you just wanted to bang out a quick presentation, you punch this into Gamma and look at this. Heritage and longevity, #1 furniture and bedding retailer, and a bunch of different information about why, range of offerings with nice icons and beautiful information on the sidebar there, nice little layout graph, talking about your community and your awards, team and culture, all in 60 seconds. Now, the cool thing about Gamma too is you can go back, and whether you're putting together a training deck for your internal team, or you're doing a product launch and you want to put something in here, you can always go back and you can actually insert your own images here. So you can remove the accent image and put different stuff in, and you can just sort of prompt it like you would AI. But the cool thing is here that you can do it all within this design presentation, and then you can share it. Boom, I got a link, or I can download it, as a PowerPoint or a PDF, and you're off to the races. Or you can publish it as a site, and then everybody can see it. So that's one of my bonuses I love sharing with people, because a lot of times people, spend time putting together presentation decks and are looking for ways to, get that information out there very quickly. It's a no-brainer. And it's pretty cool that it actually just went to the website and pulled all that information. And that's kind of where we're going to get in some of the future presentation information, is getting into automation and getting into agentics, which automations are sequences that you put together and it follows those steps for you every single time. So for example, with Sleep Summit, our event, when you sign up for a ticket, behind the scenes. It sends me a text message, sends you an email, sends me an email, gives you hotel information, has a follow-up email after that to share on social media. It just gives you all that is happening automatically. An agent is a little bit different because an agent is actually going out and using your tools and doing something on your behalf, which is pretty cool. Speaking of Sleep Summit, if you're looking to go deeper on AI, join us at Sleep Summit. You are wanted. Your presence is wanted. And for everybody that's here, today only, we've got $100 off for everybody that came to the webinar. So just use the discount code Jerry Never Sleeps. Use Jerry Never Sleeps as your discount code. And go to sleepsummit.thefam.com. I can actually just, drop this in the chat for you, but we're going to be doing a ton of great AI focused information and content designed to accelerate your business and really unlock what I call enterprise value, which is, hey, if we get enough people using this, what can we really do that we may not be seeing right now? So there's Sleep Summit, the fam. Oh, thanks, Melissa. Appreciate that. And then for anybody that needs to move faster, wants to go deeper, me. I do work with select companies to accelerate AI adoption, unlock enterprise value, make it measurable. So yeah, mark@thefam.com. Even in the follow-up email, you can reach out to me, but happy to help. All right, let's go to our questions.
Okay, we're a little over time, but we have a few more that hopefully we can answer. What is the best way to train your team to use the Notebook LM?
It's got to start at the top, number one. Most of what's driving AI adoption in organizations is at the executive level. If the executives aren't making it part of the weekly shares at your meetings, you're probably not going to get that sort of adoption. So I would encourage, weekly shares, making it mandatory to share use cases at like your all hands meetings, and then just ensuring that you're using it and showing them that you're using it. I think that's what I'm seeing, at least from a mid to larger organization standpoint. It's got to start at the top.
How do we get Jerry to work at every location across our markets? So I'll go ahead and answer that one. So how Jerry works, you have to be integrated with certain, POS systems and other softwares. So we're with Storus, we're with Shopify, and we're always constantly integrating and iterating on that integration as well. And so we're hoping to have, especially with Mattress Firm, we're working with them specifically to do some data scrapes, work with Storus, and make sure that you can get everything in, and then it can get into every location. We are definitely, that's what we're doing every day, trying to get Jerry into everyone's store if that's what they need and what they want, because he's such a good agent to help. So, and then, okay, next question. Are the images product quality images, or how can you enhance the level if needed?
Yeah, so for the most part, the prompt is going to dictate the aspect ratio. So if you need it to be a higher resolution or a minimum pixel count, use your prompt bossing skills and tell it what you need it to be. Sometimes it'll kick out a 1080 by 1080 for me, and I need it in more of a presentation style. So I'll ask it for 16 by 9, and I'll give it the actual minimum pixels that I need. I haven't tried to max that out though, Frank. It's a great question. So, I haven't tried to make it so that you can blow it up and put it on the side of a building yet, but test it out and circle back with me.
Perfect. And then are agents able to interact with your POS system? Yes, Pablo, it kind of depends on what your system is and if we have an integration. So you can reach out to me. I just dropped my, I'll reach out to you after this is over and figure out if your POS system is one that we integrate with. We're changing those integrations every day. So we're definitely always trying to get more and more so that we can have more agents for you as well. So just a heads up with that. Awesome. With that, that is all the questions. So
rock and roll. Well, thank you everybody for showing up and being leaders in AI. I can't believe how many people are on here are daily users. Congratulations, because you're way ahead of the game. You're truly in the top 1%. Keep your hands in the clay. If you have any questions or you have use cases or you have barriers, think of me as your stick of dynamite you can throw into any problem. Reach out. I love this stuff. I love helping businesses make more money and do more with less. And we love small businesses. And thank you so much to Podium for partnering with us on this. I love Jerry. I was giving him a hard time, but even though he's a try hard, he does try really hard, and we really love him. Thank you so much for the nice notes here in the chats. And please do reach out to me. I'm going to type my email in here. It's mark@thefam.com. Let me know if I can help. And hope everybody has a great rest of your week. Make sure you're signed up for our newsletter, by the way, thefam.com. Go to thefam.com, because all of these future webinars, we're going to be promoting them there. So you're going to start learning about when we're going to talk about agents and automation, which is coming up next. Melissa, thank you so much.